My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Guten morning, bienvenue, and bonjour. Otherwise, happy South Lake morning. Oh man, I am so glad. You know how I feel about Mondays. Man, I hate it when people come down on Monday and they show up and they're like, what the heck do you think you're going to get in a day when you show up dreading the day? Man, you got to look for the excitement of the day. Today has amazing possibilities. You know, I had a great weekend last weekend, dealt with some business, overcame some stuff. I was so proud of myself for facing a few conflicts that I had to face because I faced them. They all got worked out perfectly to the best of all towards my favor. And I had a rough night physically last night, but you know what? I showed up this morning, got out of bed, and I was just ready to hit the day. So if you want to know how to hit the day, you need to DM me, okay? Private message me, let me know, reach out to me, and I will have a conversation with you how to pick up your day. As a matter of fact, we have an amazing show for you today. You should stay. If you want to be charged up for this week, this month, this year, you really got to stick around for the entire show. We got some good advice and some inspiration for you today. We are going to start today is Clean Off Your Desk Day, National Clean Off Your Desk Day. We're going to talk about why that's important. We're going to have a little bit of a comment on something that I call quit quitting. We're going to talk about this book a little bit, The Miracle Equation by my distance mentor, Hal Elrod. We're going to talk about that concept in a bit. And finally, we have Kay Simpson. I am so excited. We've been trying to get Kay on for some time. There's been some mix-ups in scheduling, and just sometimes life happens. But we finally got Kay on. She is going to be representing the Greater Clermont Cancer Foundation, an amazing organization helping people right here in our own community with dollars that come from and to our own community. But she's going to talk all about that when we bring her on. So we're going to go to commercial break, hear from that family of sponsors that I love so, so much. And when we get back, we're going to get started. Don't go away. I'll see you in a minute.
My name is Michael Singh, Agency Principal of Singh Insurance and Financial Services. We offer auto insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. Our office number is 352-432-1646, and you can also check us out on our website at www.singinsurancegroup.com.
50 West, pre-leasing now in Clermont. A first-of-its-kind commercial development in the Southeast. Contact us today to reserve your spot in this historic development. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease@50west.com.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Amen and welcome back. Man, I love to hear from our family of sponsors. I'm joking. I was just telling Jay about some of the foibles of my weekend. I had a little bit of misery by my own making, but it's okay because I knew it was of my own making, so I could laugh at myself while I was going through it. How about it, Jay?
Joe, I'm so happy when Monday rolls around because I get to start a brand new week with you and see what challenges we had over the weekend. what we can do this week to make it better.
That's right.
By Friday, we got a whole new set of stories to get ready to tell next week.
That's right. Look, you know what?
I look forward to it, Joe, every day.
I have always felt, and my dad kind of did this to me because he was always, he was kind of a interesting character, and we won't go deep into that, but he always had a good story. And he always had this crowd of people around him because he was always telling a good story, most of which were untrue. Didn't realize that till I was an adult, and I had tried to imitate much of what he did. And then I realized, maybe it's not good to live your life that way. On the upside, it means I've gotten good at telling stories. I assemble them. I love to hear people's stories. I love to recount them. I can make stopping at a stoplight a story because you're surrounded by this wonderful world. So let's get started, actually, because I want to get to Kay, because she is one of these people using her greatness to bring out the greatness in others, really help the community. So let's talk about Clean Off Your Desk Day. Look, it is January, and as I told you before, a Cup of Joe and the show is going to spend most of January helping you get to your goals, giving you little tools, tricks, tips, mentalities that you can do to help you get to your goals. And I thought clean off your, there were like 19 things on the National Day calendar, but I thought clean off your desk day really kind of fit into this. Look, it's so hard to move on to something new when you've got the clutter from what is the past surrounding you. I've heard of a lot of great tricks to cleaning off your desk where you put it all in one box and then empty the box because you only can see one thing at a time, or however you do it, you need to get your desk cleaned off. As a matter of fact, if you want to make some major changes in your life, changes in your finances, changes in your health or your fitness, one of the things that you should do is remove clutter from your house. Take an entire day to make your environment and your space clean and organized. And this is the concept of cleaning off your desk. If you have any kind of financial or business goals this year, don't go into the year with the piles and the I know you guys are just like me. Everybody is. You got a desk at the office that might stay clean, but that desk at home, it's got a pile here and a pile here, and you were going to get to it. Heck, half the pieces of paper on that desk, you don't know what that number is to or who that person was in relation to. Get organized, clean off your desk. You won't regret it. And you'll be able to face the tasks that you need to engage in to make your goals and dreams a reality much, much, much more easily and much more consistently. And since we're on this subject of our goals, we talked last week about the number of people, and I think the number was something like 97% or 95% of all New Year's resolutions are done within 3 days. 3 days. Well, here's the thing. My thing today is quit quitting. My wife jokes with me and will give me a hard time. And sometimes some of the misery that goes on in my life is because I don't know when to let go. I don't know when to quit. And while this can be a character flaw, it is a character flaw that I would rather have than have the quitting too early character flaw. Look, I have said before, I would rather die as a failure than fail as a quitter. The reason people don't get their goals done, the reason they don't succeed in their resolutions is because a couple days happens and life happens, and they're not really set up they haven't learned the habits or the processes yet. They haven't even examined what kind of systems they might need to create to make their life happen. And what happens? You go 2 or 3 days and you think, well, there goes that. I guess I'm on till next year, or I'll lose that weight closer to the summer. Look, if you are off of your resolutions, I'm going to encourage you, pull that list back out today. It's Monday night. Let's face it. You're going to get home. You're going to flip on Netflix or something, and you're going to do nothing. Pull that list. Don't do it. Don't turn on the television. Pull out that list and go over it. Where did you go wrong? You might not have actually failed. You might have just stumbled. Get back on the horse. If you quit quitting, you have to have a determination in your heart that that's exactly what you want. Did you write down your why yet? I talked about this last week. Maybe that's what you need to push the extra day. So you missed a few days at the gym. Okay, nothing stopping you for tomorrow. As a matter of fact, nothing's stopping you from going out and taking a walk this afternoon. With that, we're going to move into the Cup of Joe because it sets me right up for this book. Can you see that, Jay? Can people read that? The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod. He released this book last year. I've been a fan of Hal Elrod for a long time. He wrote The Miracle Morning. He has been part and parcel with my dear friend Honore Corder. Well, of course, he is part and parcel because he was the starter of the concept. But with my friend Honore Corder, he has developed a whole series of these books for almost every industry. But this one actually breaks down some concepts that, here we go. Here's The Miracle Equation, The Miracle Morning, all of these books by Hal Elrod. So here's one of the cool things. Hal Elrod is one of these guys who self-publishes books. Most of his Miracle Morning books were self-published. This is the first book, because of his success with The Miracle Morning, that was actually published by a large publishing house. The concept of this, and I'm not letting any spoilers out here because it's right on the cover. Excuse me. Did you hear that? No. Is unwavering faith and extraordinary effort put together equal miracles. And when he talks about miracles, he's talking about those dreams and goals that seem to be impossible. Well, this week on Cup of Joe, we're going to examine the unwavering faith section of this. Okay, he has some great tools, and we're going to talk about why you need because if you don't believe in yourself, you'll never do anything. Jay never would have started this station if he didn't believe he could take it from what it was to what it is to what it's going to be in 5 years. He gets up and believes in this every day, and because he does, God surrounds him with people that also believes. I never could have done what I'm doing now if I hadn't started with Cup of Joe 3 years ago and taken up the challenge by a friend of mine and then believed I could do it every single day for a year. I believe I can do this. And while we may not be where we want to be, I have faith every single day. As a matter of fact, Jay laughs at me. Every now and then I'll say, everybody be quiet. I close my eyes and I say to my invisible, non-existent assistant, Tiffany, go get that.
I always thought it was Courtney.
Courtney too. Courtney, we'll have a whole slew of interns at some point. The point is, you got to believe. So this week we're going to examine how do you get that unwavering faith and the value of it. Now, with all that said, there are some people in our community with unwavering faith to help the community and help some of those that get the most hurt by cancer. The Greater Clermont Cancer Foundation is an amazing organization doing amazing work in our community. And today we have Kay Simpson with us to talk all about it. So we're going to go hear from that family of sponsors. When we get back, we're going to have Kay with us. We're going to find out about this amazing organization. Let's see you in a minute.
Are you tired of having drugs or alcohol in your life? Do you need to get off pain pills but still maintain pain relief? My office in Tavares has programs to help you. While not covered by insurance, program fees are affordable. My name is Alan Zupkin. I'm board certified and have helped thousands of patients achieve these goals. Please call me for further information.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Clermont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
The best things in life aren't items we can grab and hold. They are the moments that grab and hold us. Moments that captivate us, inspire us, and enrich us. Moments that bring joy, strength, and peace. At Sing Insurance and Financial Services, we help you to treasure these times by being there when life's most difficult moments arise. Through our services, you will find independence, flexibility, health, and security that will prosper and protect your life. Whether you are driving that new car, buying that new home, opening that new business, or building a new family, we provide you the peace of mind and freedom to enjoy life's best things. Your next moment is waiting. Are you ready?
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. Hey everybody, welcome back, and I am joined by my dear friend Kay Simpson of the Greater Clermont Cancer Foundation. Kay, welcome, thank you. I'm so glad to have you on.
Thank you.
It seems to have been, I mean, we have worked hard to get you.
I was starting to take it personal, Joe. I was. It was like, okay, so.
I had to reschedule Kay a couple of times. And like the people I have had to do that too, I really appreciate their understanding.
I hang in there and waited. My time came.
And you know what? Your time came perfectly. I mean, we were originally going to bring Kay on in October, but we had so many people and so much about cancer. We were going to bring her back before we realized that we were going to take a few weeks off for the holidays. I had her scheduled, I think you were last week of the week.
The 23rd.
The 23rd, and it didn't work out. I had to reschedule her, so I'm so glad to have you here, though.
The platelet people were crazy. I called and I said, well, scratch Joe, we'll go donate platelets.
You know, here's the thing, though. Cancer is not a once a month or a once a year issue, you know, and while we give a lot of attention in October and November, you know, it really is a problem for a lot of families right away.
All year round.
You know, well, I tell people all the time I need their bona fides. Just to let you know, this is Kay Simpson. She's a member of the board of directors and treasurer of the Greater Clermont Cancer Foundation. Boy, it is a mouthful.
Everybody
It's why you guys
stumbles
call
on
it
it.
GCCF, right?
Everybody stumbles trying to say our name.
Now, Kay is also the founder and former owner of Papa's Diner, you know, a real, I told her, a real bowl to the community.
Greasy spoon with pride.
I have never found it to be greasy.
No, but I had a customer, he said, you know, you're a true greasy spoon, and I mean that with love. And it's like, okay, I'll take it with love. But
Papa's Diner is a great place, and one of the cool things about it is, you know, and I like places like First Watch and Kiki's, but they tend to be a little pretentious. You know, well, the stuff is good. You know,
we're far from
but that's what's cool about it, and you know, you've turned it over to somebody else. I mean, somebody purchased it from you, so you can move on to other works. She has been a community member for over 35 years, starting her business in 1985 and finally finishing your house in 1991. Kay, I love having people like you here, especially when you're representing groups like this, because you've seen the changes, you see the need, you know, obviously, and you've been with the foundation for how long?
I have been on, I would say it was the last part of 205, first part of 206. I had volunteered for them before, but then the time came and they asked if I'd like to be a board member, and I agreed.
Do you know what freaks me out is 205, 206 to us old guys. That sounds like it's modern, but it was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's a chunk of change, you
It's
know. It's enough time for a teenager to become a grown-up,
Oh,
you know.
yes.
We fought a war in that time.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
I mean, so that's it is an amazing amount of time. Let me ask, how did what was the genesis of GCCF? How did it get started?
Phyllis and Vic Hutchinson were the founding board members of the foundation. They originally came from Alabama down to Florida, and they liked Clermont because of the water and the lake, so they moved there. But to be with her brother and her sister-in-law, Maggie, who was going through cancer. So they were the support system for Al and Maggie. They found in being that support system, doctors are not always forthcoming with information of this is how you're going to feel after you've had your second round of chemo and what to expect from different medications and such.
What year was that?
They,
you know?
Well, we became officially 501c3 in 204. So a little
it was
before that. Yeah.
So we're talking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny is as you say that, you know, doctors have changed over the years.
They have gotten better.
I mean, healthcare choices, you know, you can pick somebody who's better at bedside manner than they used to be.
And with that, back then and before, doctors were the end all. So the doctor said, you do this, and that's what you did. You didn't ask questions, and they didn't bother to answer any
nobody
questions.
knew how to advocate for themselves.
And
or,
so
you know.
it's gotten better all the way around because you're your own best advocate when it comes to cancer, any
partly
disease.
because of groups like GCCF. So you get started did you say it was a support group?
It started out as a support group at the First United Methodist Church here in Clermont, and Phyllis would bring in speakers to give information and things like that. And from there, it grew into the foundation. And as I said, we became official in 2004. I had met them. We were doing Relay for Life. So they had a tennis tournament, which we still are doing the tennis tournament, but it was started and money was raised to go towards Relay for Life. I got started doing Relay with my daughter in high school because they needed adult chaperones to spend the night, and I got started that way. She went off to college, and I stayed with Relay. And I met Phyllis and Vic then, and they had told me, you know, this is what they had just started and everything like that. And at the time, I'm running a business and doing this and doing that and going, oh, I don't have time to do this.
You're squeezing it in at that point, right?
Yeah, you know, it's like, really,
you got a life?
I don't have time to do this. But, and this is, if I tear up, it's because about that time, my father was diagnosed with his second batch of cancer. He had had prostate cancer in 1992. And then in 2005, he was diagnosed with bladder cancer. And I was freaking out because it's like, okay, we got him through one. And I had just lost my mom in 2002. So I was a mess. And Phyllis goes, you need to come to a survivor's dinner. And they were holding survivor dinner down in the social hall before the new church got built and things. And I went down and I met so many amazing people, and I saw what Phyllis and Vic and the rest of the board were trying to do. And she just reeled me in. And
let's talk about that dinner for a second. What was it? The fact that you weren't alone, or the fact that somebody cared?
That there were survivors, because so many, and it still happens today, people are diagnosed with cancer and their first thought is, oh my God, I'm going to die. And yes, you can be a survivor. In fact, once you're diagnosed, you're considered a survivor until you fight clear to the end. You're a survivor because you are fighting it. But, years ago, I remember when my cousin had cancer, and I can remember my mom and the aunts talking in the kitchen, and you would hear the C word. They couldn't even bring themselves to say cancer. And so in my head, all right, this is the second time I was going to lose him and all this. And they said, come to this dinner. And there's these amazing people that I met that had been survivors for 13 years, 20 years.
It's that change of mentality. I think GCCF and organizations like it have helped change. I can remember, must have been the 70s, because I was a teenager, and one of my uncles was diagnosed, and he had been a very close friend of my father. And I can remember how upset my father was. I remember him saying so many times, they're going to cut him up until he dies. and back in those days, chemo, while it was in its infancy, was not really, chemo and radiation. It was just as bad as anything else. Surgery
It was like
was
if
the
the
prime.
cancer doesn't get you,
Yeah.
the cure is going to.
Yeah, and so the changing of that mentality is big. So we have this organization. You guys become a 503c. How did you go from support group to organization to foundation?
Very slowly. As I said, they decided that with the funds, it was basically, to keep everything legal with the funds that they were raising
So
from
you
the
started to
tennis
collect
tournament.
a lot of money,
Yeah.
and you needed
Well,
to.
I won't say it was a lot, but
Well,
people
I mean-
wanted to make a donation and to keep it
A
legal.
lot is
so-
perspective. It was
Yes.
more than $125.
Right. But so then they
So you
became
need
a
some
501c.
accountability,
Right.
and that makes
And
sense.
so they
Did
formed
that
the
help you
foundation.
guys be more efficient with the money?
Oh yeah,
I mean, just
because
spread it out more and get it where it needed to go.
Because and it's still a work in progress. We just got through changing some of our grant rules again because times have changed, so everything else changes to go with it. But yes, we started out and it was a small amount, and I want to say it was $5,000, a donation from the church to get the foundation started, and some of our first grants were to pay for electric bills or things like that. They weren't at the level that we are now, but they were what we could do. And
So let's fast forward. What does it's you can see the Greater Cancer Foundation and people obviously, I'm sure, mistake you for the American Society or the American Cancer Society,
Right.
the ACS. But you have a completely different mission, don't you?
we're totally different than any national organization out there. As you said, when we first started, we got confused. People had a hard time saying Greater Clermont Cancer
Because you're not about
Foundation.
research. It's not. That's not what you're
Ours
doing.
is not about research, and part of that is, and that's part of what drew me to the foundation when I was first wavering, boy, do I have time to do this, is because I had the restaurant. And one of my fundraisers for Relay for Life was putting signs up, thanks to Carlos Solis. And we'd make signs, design them, put signs up, and sell the signs for a donation,
Right, yep.
sponsorship,
$1,
to
$2,
raise money
whatever, yep.
for American Cancer Society. So people would see this and go, well, you work with cancer. Was diagnosed, but I can't pay this. It was a money thing. And American Cancer Society has a lot of great programs. They rely a lot heavily on their volunteers, but their money is for research. And there is still someone that gets paid down the line from CEOs on down.
Right. Yep.
And we wanted to be able to do financial assistance for cancer patients. As I said, it started small. It would be just like an electric bill, things like that, whatever, car repairs. Being in business, if I knew somebody could do something for my patients, I always had my fingers out there. My poor bug man, I was like, all right, I have a patient that's got fleas from her cat, but she's going through chemo. She can't have bites. Please go spray. So that's how we were doing it. But we are 100% volunteer.
So give us an idea, and I don't know, maybe we need to go to your website for this. Give us an idea of some of the services that you provide as the foundation.
We do patient financial assistance for their families and the patients. We do scholarships. We just got through 2019. We did 31 families for holiday families because these are families that we have worked with through the year.
Well, see, that's what I'm asking. You say financial assistance, and that could cover. What kind of things do you provide financial assistance for? You're not just giving somebody money just because they have cancer.
No. They have to show a need. We have a 2-page application that they fill out and everything, and they have to show that there is a need. We have our patient navigator who can check into things and stuff like that. No, just since you have cancer, no, we don't give you. You have to have a need. And those needs are, and doctors are not going to be happy with me, but a lot of times I get phone calls. I owe so much money for my medical bills. And it's like, but are you paying your rent so you can
Right.
keep a roof over
Yep.
your head? Are you, being able to buy groceries to keep food on the table, buy your medicine and things like that? And I tell patients, just work with your doctor, talk to their financial department, say, I can afford $25 a month. And as long as you can attempt to make a payment, they're not going to stop your
Yeah,
treatment.
and I would like to
Everybody's always
mention-
worried they're going to stop their treatment. They're not.
I would like to mention that a lot of times doctors have a bad rap, insurance companies, whether they have a bad rap or not. But I have found in my own journey that, usually the doctors and the people who own the cancer practices, they have they don't get into cancer for the money,
Right.
Because they have a heart of
Right.
compassion. They're more than willing to work with you and work
Right.
with your insurance company.
And that's what I try to tell patients, because they freak, and it's like they haven't even talked to the financial department sometimes, and it's like, talk to them. They will work with you. They're not going to stop treatment. They don't.
One of the things that I think is cool about you guys is that it seems to me from the stories that I've heard and the people that you're helping, it's hard for us to understand that a lot of people in our society are not financially sophisticated. I see this a lot of times in the difference between, as a realtor, in the difference between somebody who can buy a house, who can't buy a house, is
Right.
it's financial sophistication, right? Is understanding what bills do I prioritize. Sometimes it's that basic. Do I pay my car note or my rent note? And we deal a lot with homelessness, right? And the question is, do I pay my car note or my rent note, right?
Right.
So I would, and one of the things that I think, and I'm about to get to a family we talked about, is how we met, but families who are not financially sophisticated, it doesn't even occur. You guys are such proof that my wife hates the cancer medicine ads, because they always have somebody who's coming home from chemo and they have this wonderful house and a porch to sit on with the swing and the garden and the view of the ocean, and it's just not like that for most people.
I have so many stories.
Right.
If I could, I have so many stories. But no, you're right. And a lot of it has to do with insurance. What I've run into a lot in 219 is seniors that are on Medicare, but they get the Advantage plans where they pay the 80-20 and they're responsible for the 20 because they've never been sick in their life.
Right.
And it's like, bam,
But now
they
they're
get
70.
cancer. Yeah, and they get cancer, and then they're responsible for that 20%, and they're like, and people don't expect it. But I like to tell people, you can have a nice income, and it's a working mom and dad income for your family. But if mom or dad have cancer, you're down in income. Whether, yes, you drive a nice car and you live in a nice house, but if you're down in income, your mortgage still needs to get paid.
The other thing, and I know that you help families that do this, is, you can have a mom and dad income, and, if a child gets cancer, we see ads on television, but child care cancer treatment is not free.
That's right.
So
that's
it's
usually
not.
one parent
so
that
there's
stops
so you
working.
you got a parent who needs to take care and all this stuff. We're going to actually talk about that in a minute. We're going to hear from our family of sponsors. When we get back, we're going to talk about that concept for a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about the family that ended up being
Right.
the impetus to you and I meeting. So,
Right.
look, we're going to hear from our family of sponsors. Obviously, this is a fascinating subject. You really need to hear the rest of this. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.
Your CBD store Clermont provides a wide range of high-quality, full and broad-spectrum CBD products. Topical creams, tinctures, water solubles, edibles, and even CBD products for your pets. From soil to oil, your CBD store Clermont sources and provides third-party lab tests for all products so that you know exactly what you're getting. Stop by your CBD store Clermont today to speak with one of our knowledgeable staff members to find the right CBD product for you.
50 West, now pre-leasing 28,900 square feet of commercial, professional office space in Clermont. Conveniently located on Highway 50, less than 2 miles from the Turnpike. A first of its kind in the Southeast, this pristine building creates the perfect blend of nature and modern design. If you seek a high-level image that matches your business, reserve your space today. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165, Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767, or visit lease@50west.com.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. And welcome back. Look, love to hear from my family of sponsors. You know how much I talk about you, but today we have a very important subject to cover. We still have Kay Simpson in the studio with us. So glad to still have you with us, Kay. Before the break, we had started talking about the concept of children that get cancer, and how while we may, the most extreme cases end up in wonderful organizations like Shriners Hospitals,
Right.
And they handle all sorts of things. I think, not Winnie Palmer. Is it Winnie Palmer? Is it Winnie Palmer? No, Winnie Palmer's for women. There's a cancer hospital just for...
There's Nemours now. There's
Nemours
Arnold
now.
Palmer.
Arnold
for the
Palmer,
children.
that's the one
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Arnold Palmer for
so
children.
there are hospitals, but when kids aren't bad enough that they have to be in the hospital, there's still care.
Well,
There's-
even when they're in the hospital, they still need a parent with them.
They still need a parent with them. And so what ends up happening is families lose an income.
Mm-hmm.
Even if their care is free, they still lose the income.
Right.
How does the family survive without that?
Well, I've had different families where they actually had to sell their house. They moved in with family until he was through with treatment and was on the upswing, and mom could go back to work and they could back to their own home.
They could get back into a two-income
Right,
family.
right.
So, and again, we're talking about sometimes people, there's a tragedy. They're not financially sophisticated. They may not have a great deal of savings to absorb something like that. And they just may, and I was actually impressed with some of the little things that you help with, where you might help with gas. Right? Maybe they're okay, but the gas from the travel.
Transportation is a big thing.
and
Tolls and gas prices.
They try not to put the kids in the hospital if they don't have to, because kids recover better at home. And there was a little girl, okay, and now we're probably both going to tear up on this,
Yep.
so it's okay. all
Okay.
right? There was a little girl, and I showed up at a ribbon cutting for a park. I didn't even realize what it was. I was, because I'm an ambassador, I'd
Right.
been invited, and I
Right.
came out, and I was so taken. We had a small crowd that day, but it was an important crowd.
And I hated to miss
It was literally the top leaders of the community, and it's not the kind of thing people showed up just to have their picture taken.
Right.
It was people had showed up to give support to this family. I don't remember the little girl's name.
Lily.
Lily had actually written this picture and had a great attitude. Unfortunately, 10 years old, she had lost her battle. Didn't she?
She was 11
She
when
had
she
10 or
passed.
11. She
Yeah.
was diagnosed at 10. She was
she had lost her.
But the stories that were told about Lily were amazing, and how she had this. I was very taken by the story that she had this picture and this attitude on her door, and you weren't allowed in her room with any negativity. You had to go back out and read that sign.
I want to say the kids that have cancer are stronger than any adult. They just face it. Yes, they feel crappy. They're going through some, but they face it with. I'll start because I'm thinking back to several children that we've had, but they just continue to smile, and I'm going to beat this up until the time either they don't or they do. I mean, we have some great stories where they do, and then we have some sad stories where they don't. But the kids are the strongest ones. The parents have a hard time, but they stay strong because these kids are amazing. And that ribbon cutting that you had, it was scheduled. I had already bought plane tickets to be out of town, so I wasn't able to be there. But several of our board members were there, and they sent me pictures. But that was to do with a couple of years ago, I hooked up with Renee Lowe and the South Lake Business Leaders. And anybody that knows Renee Lowe, she's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
There, you give her a little bit, and she runs with it. And they had approached us. They wanted to do holiday families between the South, Kiwanis of South Lake and the South Lake Business Leaders.
Yep.
So I had given them names. And Lily's family was one of the names that I had given her. Well, they fell in love with Lily. They fell in love with Victor, her little brother. And then that family continued to be a family for them just because they fell in love with them the next year, even after Lily had passed.
And again, this is one of the cool things I think about our community.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I know where you're going with that.
About our community, but about the foundation is just because the family is no longer has somebody who has cancer.
We still keep in touch.
You still keep in touch. You're still connected with them. You're still helping. And what we keep referring to is Lily's family and her little brother had a dream. There was a piece of land that was just south of 50 in Clermont. I think it's off of 8th Street. Or 12th, not 12th. It's 7th or 8th Street. Yeah. But it is a park that's been dedicated to Lily.
It's called Kiwanis Park.
It's called Kiwanis Park. They've cleaned this up. There's a wonderful bench out there. They have memorialized Lily, not just with the bench, but by
putting her
taking her little picture and this piece of art that hung on her door that she made people watch to because she didn't want anybody in her room that was negative. This is part of the amazing part of the story. Her little brother has showed up at several events. She wanted to be a baker. He wanted to be a baker. This young man with his mom cooks for the holidays, he was at a chamber breakfast.
He's been at Kim's Cabbage Patch.
He's been at other events, fire departments.
Selling
and
their
this
baked
kid
goods.
is showing up with baked goods and selling them.
And part of that is because of the South Lake Business Leaders. He told them that they helped make memories with Lily. So his goal is to sell these baked goods that him and his mom and his family have made to raise funds to help another family make memories.
And I got to tell you, this is not a family, and we don't want to lay their business out, but this is not a family when you meet them. Dad's not a high-powered lawyer. Mom is not, a doctor. These people are not in the six-figure income range. Right. They're working folks that work hard and paycheck to paycheck. They're paying their bills, and I'm sure they have months where they wonder if they're going to get the car payment made on time, like we all do. But every dime of that money is going to the foundation to help.
Well, it's not going to us.
To you, right? It's going.
It's what they're doing with it to raise
money,
donate to another family,
to donate to another family, to make memories, like somebody made memories for them. Right. And it's one of the amazing things I think about it is that you're touching a family, but I'm always amazed at these things, and I don't think people many times understand. And we talk at the end of the show, and you'll hear me say this: touch a life, you'll change the world.
Right.
Right. So, I look at. Is he that old?
I don't even think he's that old. I think he's like 8 or 9.
So this little boy, I gotta wonder.
Cute.
So this little boy is cooking on the weekends with his mom. They have events planned all year long to raise money to help another family. I gotta wonder, is this the next celebrity baker? In 20 years, are we going to be watching him on the internet or on television with a show? And, it has some, I don't know what it's going to be, but, is he going to is he going to become a cancer doctor, an oncologist and change thousands of lives because of what you just don't know what this is going to inspire him to do. Will he become an industrialist like Mark Cuban? A billionaire that helps hundreds of things. You just don't know. And so by touching that light, by doing what you do, you affect the world and you affect your whole community through one life. We've talked about what you guys are doing and this family, and we got to get off the family because I'm going to tear up again. And that just wastes time. What is coming up for GCCF? What does the future hold for you guys?
Well, as far as the up-and-coming year events that we have going on, we have Bras for the Cause and Boxers too.
I think that he's pulling up Bras for the Cause. There it is. It's the Facebook page. You can walk us through this for a little bit. It's right over your shoulder. There you go.
Bras for the Cause and Boxers 2 was started in 2008. Phyllis and Vic had gone to Jackson Hole, Wyoming for a vacation, and while they were there, they happened upon this event where it was a dinner dance, but they had also decorated, different bras. And she came back all excited, was telling me about it, brought the newspaper. She goes, "Do you think Clermont's ready?" And we thought about it because 2008, Clermont was still a little, So I said, you know what? The only way we know is to find out and see what kind of reception we get. So our very first Bras for the Cause was held in the Hampton Inn little nook that they serve breakfast at in the morning. They let us hold it there. We had 100 guests. We had 20 bras that people had designed. Our posters were not made. Our posters now are designed and then Ken Rose at Minuteman prints them for us and everything. No, we made posters on our computer and put them around. But
construction paper, yeah.
Basically, and we had 20 people that designed bras, and we had our first show. It was so much fun. We had no idea what we were doing. Shannon Ellswick was our first MC, and it was wonderful, but it has grown. We were thrilled. We cleared $2,500 that year. Thrilled because we have grown, and so now we're getting ready for year 13. We're now at the Performing Arts Center. There are over 500 guests that are there, and we sell out of tickets.
This has become one of the premier events of the year.
It is the most talked about event.
It rates right up there with the New Beginnings Gala and the Dancing with the Stars. This is really something that the community has embraced. You can see, what is the date? It's on February.
No, it's on March 28th.
March 28th, and it says Boxers 2.
Yeah.
So, do people design their own, or
people? We have.
I've seen some of the pictures where people are coming in.
Some of the first bras are so totally. We're so much sophisticated. Some of the bras that are designed, but we have community members that design them, community members that model them, and then we do this show. You pick a song that goes with the theme of your bra. Like the theme for this year's event is leather and lace. That's basically.
That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be wonderful, but it's leather and lace with a rock and roll theme. Joe.
Yeah, of course.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
No, I could just imagine. Hey, I grew up in the '80s. All right.
But the bras have their own theme. Like we've had in Alice in Wonderland, and it had teacups and everything. It was awesome. So we have models and designers that do this, and then we do a live runway show.
How much do you anticipate making?
Well, last year, by the time we got through paying our expenses, we cleared over $76,000.
Perfect cause. What else do you have coming up after that?
After that, well, before that, we are on March 7th. We're partnering with Stormy Hill Harley, and we're going to have a give back to the community event. We're going to have a kids zone with bounce houses and things. It'll be free. You can purchase food. We're going to have face painting. We're going to have live music band, and it's from 12 to 4.
Kind of an awareness fundraiser.
Just an
sort of
awareness, a thank you to our sponsors, a thank you
That's
to our
perfect.
community, because we are so blessed with so much community support. Thank you for our models and our designers to come and enjoy without the stress of the event day.
Kay, I think they have your Facebook page here, and this actually is a perfect segue for me to ask you. This is your camera over here, Kay.
Okay.
And what I'd like you to do is tell people if they want to volunteer or give money, how can they help if they want to help, whether
If they
they've
wanna
been
help-
affected by cancer or not, or if they know somebody who might need some assistance, how do they reach out to you?
You can reach out to us on the Facebook page, and I don't know the exact address, but I believe it's Bras for the Cause, Clermont. You looked it up, and I'm not sure. You can also just call our telephone. It's a voicemail, so you'll leave a message, and I'm the one that answers it. I'll return your phone call and direct your request to wherever. And we also have on our website, you can go to support@gccf.us and leave an email that you would like to volunteer. But our phone number is 352, I have it in my phone so I don't memorize it, 352-435-3202. And as I said, it's a voicemail, but I return your calls. If you want to volunteer, we have an event at the winery where we're the charity of choice for the seafood festival. I need volunteers for that. We're a board of 8. We rely on our volunteers to do everything. So
You know, I really appreciate it, Kay, and this has been fascinating. And before we finish, I just want to give a great big shout out to Marie Howd, who connected you
She
and
is
I.
the chairperson.
She actually has an amazing reputation in the community, and I know she does an awful lot. And when I suggested bringing somebody on here, like a great many people do, they were like, "Not me." So
She's-
Marie is very humble too,
yeah,
and
she,
so
well, she voted me in. She goes, "Can you do this? Can you do
you got
this?"
voluntold.
I did.
But again, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Marie because I really appreciated the connection, and she's such a sweetheart. And you know, I've seen her at a couple of things, and she's so concerned about your families. You know, she takes. Somebody had to like tell me who she was. She's that humble that she's not taking a forefront at any of the events. So I just wanted to say I really appreciate you, Marie, and thank you. You know. Kay, thank you so much for coming on.
Can I just
out.
say one
Yo,
last thing?
please,
If
please
they
do.
remember anything else about the foundation, we are 100% volunteer. 100% of money that is raised, donated. If you do a sponsorship for Bras or our tennis tournament that's going to be held in November, it all stays here in South Lake County. No one receives a salary.
That's a great point.
None of the money gets shipped anywhere.
That's a
It
great
stays
point.
right here in South Lake County.
All of the money is used for the families and right here in our own community.
Yeah.
So want to say again, thank you. Look, if you know anybody that should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, you need to reach out to me. You need to let me know. And if you are selling, if you have a business and you are doing business here, and look, and even if you have an organization and you're doing business here in South Lake County, you should be branding yourself here on this station. Nobody reaches the residents of South Lake like South Lake TV does. And if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. We have all sorts of different opportunities for you to take part, fitting in all sorts of budgets and financial constraints. Finally, I'd like to say that we have started a community calendar. We're in the process of putting it together. If you have an organization, know somebody with an organization or a business, you have events coming up, we need to be your first phone call. When you plan an event, the first thing you need to say on your list is call South Lake TV, make sure it gets on their community calendar. We can promote your event here on the show, on the community calendar. I'll bring you on, you'll be a guest, or somebody in your organization will be a guest, and we'll talk about your event. And there may even be opportunities to live stream the event itself right on the station at the time it happens. Finally, I'd like to remind you there is greatness inside you, and as Kay and all the other people at the Greater Clermont Cancer Foundation are doing, they're using their greatness to bring out the greatness in others, to touch a life, one life at a time, and change the world. And I'm going to encourage you today. Use your greatness to bring out the greatness in others. Don't be afraid to touch a life. You'll never regret it, and you just might change the world. This has been Joe Carlisle. I think that we are doing a replay tomorrow, aren't we, Jay? Are we live tomorrow?
Unsure.
We're unsure. So tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. Either way, you're going to have some amazing programming, and we'll see if we can inspire and entertain you and maybe educate you a little bit. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And with that said, I love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Joe knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors: